In his characteristically blunt tone, DMX made damning allegations against music titans Diddy and Jay-Z before his untimely demise. Though easy to dismiss his accusations as wild exaggerations, mounting evidence suggests that DMX may have unveiled uncomfortable truths about the duo's shady industry ties and the destructive lengths they've gone to dominate. Let's explore what DMX witnessed behind the scenes and the chilling implications of why outspoken rappers like him seem to meet with such tragic fates. DMX called out Diddy for mistreating artists. Over the course of his iconic rap career, DMX routinely leveraged his platform to call out rampant exploitation within the music industry, blastingly naming names without mincing words. When discussing the troublesome trajectory of artists signed to Bad Boy Records, X put CEO Sean Diddy Combs directly in his crosshairs. In multiple revealing interviews, DMX strongly implied Diddy was notorious throughout the industry for taking advantage of and mistreating the various artists signed to his label Bad Boy Records over the years. Though Bad Boy launched superstars like 112, Faith Evans and the late hip-hop titan Biggie Smalls, DMX took issue with how Diddy's fingerprints seemed to be all over sabotaging those same acts' careers later on. Shockingly, when specifically discussing up-and-coming rap group the LOX getting signed then shelved by Bad Boy, X explicitly stated his suspicion that Diddy was grabbing his artists. While such serious accusations could suggest extensive financial exploitation and creative interference, DMX doubling down by specially naming Biggie Smalls gives the remarks a more sinister implication. Recent allegations by both R&B artists Jaguar, Wright and lling lend credence to the darkest possibility DMX was hinting at, that Diddy committed literal sexual assault against talent on his label. Though easy to dismiss such severe claims as exaggerations when DMX first voiced them, mounting testimonies around Diddy now make re-examining X's bold hints prudent. The late rapper proved prophetic in his artist advocacy, warning anyone willing to speak truth no matter how reckless it seemed. May the newly unearthed courage of past and present victims help absolve DMX's once controversial stances. DMX suspected Jay-Z sabotaged his career. Beyond making allegations against Diddy, DMX also suspected his fellow heavyweight rapper Jay-Z of sabotaging his music career through the considerable influence Jay-Z cultivated behind the scenes in the industry. DMX himself had been signed to Jay-Z's label, Rockefeller Records, for several successful years in the late 90s, which facilitated artistic collaborations between the two hip-hop icons. However, tensions arose when Jay-Z accepted an executive position as the new president and CEO of Def Jam Recordings, the label DMX found breakthrough solo success with. According to DMX, upon assuming his new powerful role overseeing Def Jam, Jay-Z's interactions with him took a competitive and callous turn. X believed Jay-Z only accepted such an influential corporate job in order to clear competition within hip-hop's ranks, in anticipation of making his own imminent comeback to rap music. To this end, DMX felt Jay-Z deliberately sabotaged the successful promotional rollout of his 6th studio album on Def Jam, Grand Champ, as a chess move to retain spotlight on himself. This reversal suspiciously occurred after Jay-Z initially greenlit the album's direction, following a full listen of the material that DMX submitted. By arbitrarily stalling promotion for DMX's lead eye-catching single and stylized music video, Jay-Z robbed X of critical visibility and momentum heading into the release of his new album. DMX publicly accused Jay-Z of cutting snake-like side deals and abusing his consolidated power to ultimately serve himself at DMX's expense. In hindsight, this may have marked the inception of simmering bad blood between the two hip-hop kings, as DMX's trust in Jay-Z's loyalty began eroding. The memory of sabotage by someone he considered a friend caused DMX to increasingly shield himself behind a hyper-competitive defensive exterior to mask feelings of paranoia and betrayal. Sadly, with dark clouds gathering over them both, reconciliation would remain elusive before fate preempted a final benediction. DMX wary of Jay-Z's industry allegiances. Unlike Jay-Z, DMX was outspoken throughout his career against compromising his artistic integrity and credibility, just to please music industry executives and bigwigs. He prided maintaining raw authenticity in his lyrics and public persona, which often meant relinquishing the spoils of mainstream commercial success. Whereas Jay-Z's actively courted relationships with several label CEOs like Leo Cohen for decades, even branding himself a new Biggie with a white coat mafioso. In verse, DMX bluntly criticised artists getting too comfortable socially around corporate figureheads. He once pointedly stated in an interview that there's too much of that going on, going to fancy dinners with executives and stuff, all that trading favours back and forth stuff. I don't get down like that. According to Jay-Z's former business partner Dame Dash, the path Jay took over the years to concentrate so much consolidated power and influence in the industry required backstabbing and betraying several people who helped progress his early success. Dame Dash has repeatedly identified Lyor Cohen specifically as the music executive who strategically mentored Jay-Z in the art of leveraging artists for maximum corporate benefit before discarding them. It's alleged that Cohen used an algorithmic divide-and-conquer approach on talent he sees high upside potential in, deliberately fracturing close circles around rising stars so that dependency on label resources becomes absolute. Recognising that making allegiances with this sort of figure enabled Jay-Z's tremendous grip over hip-hop, DMX remained stubbornly detached from the proverbial machine to retain his creative freedom. But we now know there can be a tremendously high price exacted by the unseen powers above for those who refuse to lean into the king-making process on anything less than their own terms. Lyor Cohen epitomises shady industry politics. In Dame Dash's experience, music executive Lyor Cohen epitomises the kind of figure who enables these cutthroat divide-and-conquer tactics, from artists like Jay-Z striving for peak mainstream recognition. Dame outrightly blames Cohen for strategically convincing Jay-Z to oust and betray him as a way to further consolidate control in the music industry. Cohen's notoriously shady reputation is underscored by callously dismissing the integral hands who elevate rising superstar artists along the way. Despite working creatively with Dame for years to build Jay-Z's brand, when asked about Dame's existence by an interviewer, Cohen smugly stated, "I don't even know him." After DMX's death in April 2021, Def Jam founder Cohen conspicuously refused to attend his funeral service, instead provocatively sending a video dismissing DMX's profound legacy as an entertainer by labelling him as merely some reckless gremlin whose premature demise should have been no surprise. DMX paid the price for not compromising. Unlike Jay-Z, DMX paid a heavy professional price as well as tragically personal one for refusing to ever compromise his artistic and personal integrity during his career to please calculating music executives like Lyor Cohen. By spurning the sinister compromise-laden blueprint to power that Jay-Z willingly pursued with allegiance to various shady corporate entities, DMX knowingly made dangerous enemies. However, the rapper resisted co-opting his gifts to appeal to what he described as culture vultures, in positions of influence, more interested in using artists to advance their own interests. Unfortunately, multiple hip-hop figures over the years who similarly dared to publicly criticise problematic industry ties maintained by Jay-Z and Diddy eventually faced retaliation by way of stalled careers and various forms of blackballing. Though DMX couldn't be made to bow alive, with resentment and grudges in the rap world holding long half-lives, some whisper his continued outspokenness even in death motivated a final coup de grace elimination. May the defiance and stubborn moral courage demonstrated by DMX and other muted voices against corrupt powers continue reverberating loudly, as more survivors find footing to reveal the industry's concealed carnage.